Well, anyway, let's talk about your investments.
And so left school when I was 17, and it was the fact that my parents.
If you're getting a 7% net yield, that's fantastic. So getting 9 is great. Hello and welcome to TwoFatBrokers. I'm Ben from Abu Dhabi.
I'm Barney from Dubai. And before we start, I actually think we should start to consider changing the name from TwoFatBrokers to Two Husky Brokers, because I feel like we've both lost some weight, right? Husky Brokers.
That's true. If you go back to our very first episode, we're probably fatter.
No,
maybe not you.
You think you're chunkier since the first time we met?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, well.
But I'm gonna lose weight this year for sure.
Oh yeah.
Big old wink there. Yeah.
Let's have it. How much do you weigh now?
Let's not go into that.
Oh, because then we could just say at the end of the year.
Anyway, today we're talking about our own private real estate portfolios. So because the real estate market has gotten better recently, and you can tell when the real estate market is good because real estate agents start buying property.
This is one of the curses of being a real estate agent, is you can only ever buy at the top of the market, because that's when you're making the most amount of money.
That is true, yeah. That's also pretty bad. Yeah.
So you ride out the top of the market.
When did you buy your current house?
9 years ago.
2015?
2014, 2015.
Yeah, right at the top of that.
The day I bought it, it wasn't worth what I paid for it. But now it's worth 35% more than I paid for it.
That is a roller coaster ride.
Astonishes me.
Went down to almost half. Yeah.
Nah, not half, but it was close. Like quite a lot off. But yeah, and now it's sprung back to being. And I underestimated what the house that I live in was worth, but had some cold call from a real estate agent, and
really, and you believe that?
No. But I was going to say it happened once, and I didn't believe it, and then it's happened 2 or 3 times since. And now I'm obviously looking at buying another property in the same community. They don't know I'm a real estate agent, but they're like, yeah, the prices have gone through the roof. And one of them who does know I'm a real estate agent, who is being honest with me, yeah, the numbers that they're talking are astonishing. Astonishing, which is very pleasing. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're living in your house, it doesn't matter what it's worth, right? Because it's your home. Could be worth 100x, it could be worth 0.
I was having that very same conversation with the guy today who wants to buy a property, and he's got the same story as everyone. I was thinking about buying it 2 years ago, and now it's gone up so much, and what's it going to do in the next few years? But he was also saying, but I'm going to live in it, so it doesn't really matter. But then why are you worrying about what's going to happen short term? Buy real estate, and hold, because it will come back.
Is now a good time to leverage your own property, because interest rates are going to come down. You're borrowing. I've had my house for 9 years, let's say, so I've paid off almost all of the interest. So if I were to borrow against it now, I could probably take out, let's call it for argument's sake, 1 million dirhams, and it wouldn't affect my monthly repayments. So I've got 1 million dirhams of equity, for argument's sake. I can then go out and whack 500 grand down on 2 different properties. And there you go. I have leveraged. And all right, my mortgage rate would change a little bit, but not a lot.
True. Well, anyway, let's talk about your investments that you've made and why you've made them.
Well, I mean, you and I can go back to our investments back in the UK. We bought those. We bought those.
The bank of mum and dad bought them, basically.
Why would you tell people?
So we're trustafarians with silver spoons in our mouths.
A trustafarian is somebody who has a trust fund and will live on that forever. We don't have trust funds, but we have very financially astute parents who made some great acquisition for us.
Yeah, but back in the early 90s, I think we probably told this story. Our mother started investing in property and, was very astute, did it at exactly the right time, worked very hard on it. At one point, she had 12 properties, I think, and she bought
17,
one each for Barney and I, and managed them all. And now she's consolidated them down. But, she's a fantastic business lady and probably motivated us to get into real estate. I would imagine, if we look back into it.
It was her who grabbed me by the ear and take me down the local estate agent. Yeah. I wasn't very academically inclined at school. I was more interested in causing mayhem than studying. And so left school when I was 17, and it was the fact that my parents were.
I went to university.
Shut up, no one cares. Did you go to Cambridge? No one cares. You're not there now, and you're not even a lawyer anymore. So
I know.
Suck in it. And yeah, it was my conversations with my mum at the time. What are you going to do? Like, you're not going to loll about the house doing nothing. Get a job, get out. And because they had quite a lot of property, the point was mooted that I would become an estate agent, and I was 17 at the time.
Enough about your villain origin story. Let's talk about the investments that you made. Well, let's not talk about the UK ones because they're 20 years ago. The investments that you've made recently.
So I have property on the Palm, which is on short-term holiday lets. That was bought a while ago because at the time it was during that mad sort of mid-COVID when Dubai was the only place open and everybody was buying and leasing out holiday lets through companies. So those investments have always been, sort of there making a yield, and those yields go to paying mortgages, paying school fees, that kind of thing. And that was why I bought them. I jumped on that bandwagon, and it served me well, to be honest. They're around 10% now, around 9% yield, and they've probably gone up. Yeah, net. Yeah, net. And they've probably gone up.
Nice.
They've not doubled in value. They've probably gone up 60%.
I mean, if you're getting a 7% net yield, that's fantastic. So getting 9 is great. Yeah.
And zero effort. Yeah, holiday company manager.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, that was a good investment. And I got into it because, when you move to Dubai, you want to live on the Palm, and I never lived on the Palm, but I always thought it would be really cool to own property there. And when someone holidays on the Palm, they want to be on the beach. You don't really. I really want to be.
Is it on the beach?
Yeah. They're on the beach. It's on the beach. And you don't really want to be, in one of these. I call them the Golden Mile. I think the golden. If you can drop down from your apartment and you're on holiday and you're on the beach and you've got the restaurants and bars nearby, that's holidaying. If you've got to get a taxi to go anywhere, or it's not sort of the same thing. So I was buying into the Dubai holiday.
And you bought it for a holiday let. Airbnb we call it.
Yeah.
Short-term let. Okay. Yeah. Nice. That's worked out well. What else?
It's worked out well. And then my favourite area, which is where I live, bought there 9 years ago, Jumeirah Village Triangle. I always saw that as the
Bermuda Triangle,
undervalued. Well, now since the invention of Waze, like you can find your way around a little bit better. But yeah, when I first moved there, taxis wouldn't come and pick you up. I think it was even before the invention of Uber that we moved there 9 years ago. Not the invention, but coming to Dubai. And I always knew, one of the things that you buy a house which is a depreciable asset in many respects because it only gets older, it only costs more to upkeep. What your real value is in the land, and these were huge parcels of land, really centrally located, and in my tiny little brain, they were an untapped gold mine. You have these huge pieces of land. I can get to the marina in 11 minutes. I can get to Dubai airport in 35 minutes, depending on traffic. I can get to downtown in 25, 30 minutes, 25 minutes.
Abu Dhabi in 1 hour.
Well, your house in 45 minutes in Abu Dhabi.
In 180, yeah, maybe.
I mean, so yeah, I saw that. So I've got property there.
Right, but that's so you bought a home there.
Bought a home there, but also I've got investment there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bought off plan.
Off plan?
Yeah. Ellington.
Oh, yeah.
Belmont
Other
resident
developers are available?
Yeah, but I bought from them. Mm-hmm. And I bought in a small building.
Are you nervous to buy off plan?
No.
All right.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, look, if you look at it, it's it's going to make around 9% again. I
Did
don't
you know that at the time?
That's if they were on the market now. So assuming rents don't go up or down, I'm looking at 9% of them.
But when you bought it, it was 9%, presumably. You bought it because you thought that area was appreciating in value?
Well, I thought what they're building is a small apartment block. And people like to live in small apartment blocks where there's less traffic, less footfall. So I thought that was going to be a string to its bow. Also means they're going to build it really quickly, so I'll get it really quickly.
True.
And yeah, I think I stand by it. It at the time was a very much undervalued community. You know, it's the right side of the Alcale Road. JVC, I think.
Wrong side of the tracks and the right side of the tracks, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's location, right?
So you say JVT is better than JVC?
I would say JVT is better than JVC for a few reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Footfall, mainly houses, very few apartments, a lot of green space that runs right down the middle of it, and the houses that are there have big plots. And if you're going to go for a townhouse, those are big townhouses. The square footage of those, a 2-bedroom townhouse in JVT is 3,000 square feet.
That's big.
Right? It's bigger than when I bought my house. It was a 2-bedroom. Obviously, we've extended it. But that's 2,600, but it has an 8,000 square foot plot. So the sizes are exponential.
The plot's amazing.
Yeah. So, and you know, this investment that I've bought in JVT, I think is about 1,100 square feet for a 1-bed.
Jeez.
Yeah, maybe a bit less. Call it 1,000 square feet for a 1-bed. You know, and the price
roomy.
The price was low, and I think I can gross 9% easily.
Yeah.
At current market rents.
Wow. Okay.
So.
Nice. And then if you were going to make another investment, where would you be leaning?
We're in the process of buying another house in JVT.
Like a townhouse or a villa, or
we have found an extended 2-bedroom townhouse or a couple of 1-bedroom townhouses.
Extended townhouse. They're built into the garden.
Yeah, no, because they have these great big rooms upstairs, which are TV rooms, but you partition them off, move another door back into the other bedroom, and you've got a Jack and Jill bathroom. And then you've got the master suite, or there's a couple of 1-bedrooms. My issue with buying at the moment is that the rents that are being achieved are not commensurate with the asking price. So you buy now, you probably make 5-6%. You've got to get rid of a tenant, which obviously you're not allowed to do unless you're going to use it for yourself. And if you're going to use it for yourself, you can't then re-rent it for another, I think it's 2 years. So you're stuck with whatever.
Premium on vacant units,
so
then.
It's finding vacant units, yeah.
So you found a vacant, modified.
Found a 2-bedroom vacant.
Okay.
And we have found an owner-occupied 1-bed.
And so then what would the yield be on those rents?
7.5.
Gross?
Current rent, no, current rate. So if let's say hypothetically I bought a vacant one,
yeah,
at the current price, it would be net 7.5.
That's amazing.
It's really good.
Why is it so good?
Because this is Dubai, baby.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. How dare you?
It should
what
be
you
like
say doesn't make sense.
The price should be much higher if it's 7.5%.
No, I mean
on a family unit.
It's very easy to walk into people will have heard that and gone 7.5%, no good.
Really?
No good. Huh? Yeah, for sure. Like you walk into 7.5%, eyes closed.
Well, I'm surprised that yields are generally a bit lower in Abu Dhabi then. Because 7% net is
I mean, I don't like
tough
to compare Dubai and Abu Dhabi, obviously, as you know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so
that's enough about me. What about you?
Still looking at JVT.
I think it's undervalued, and I think it has a long way to go.
Yeah. No, I mean, in the house you live in, that plot's incredible.
Well, they started work on the extension today. Another extension. Yeah.
Business must be good.
I mean, the house is too small rather than business being good. What about you?
For all your shoes.
That's enough about me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I think we went through everyone's kind of purchasing arc. So we bought the house that we live in beautiful Al Reef in Abu Dhabi. We did some renovations on that to begin with, and then obviously we have quite a good overview of the real estate market, and there are some things that I think are undervalued in the Abu Dhabi market. I don't like off-plan personally because I'm a very conservative person, and I like my investment philosophy is income stream. But I do think there's a couple of off-plan projects that were undervalued when sold. One is Sustainable City in Abu Dhabi, which you have one of those in Dubai, which I think for the ground floor apartments in particular, is still undervalued. And the other one is Reem Hills, where you got a lot of villas very close to, well, villas and townhouses very close to Abu Dhabi, and I think those were sold at below market rates personally. But for my own investments, I would prefer something that's yielding, and get on the property market that way. Good yielding places in Abu Dhabi. Generally speaking, townhouses are a great investment because the service charges are low. It's a family property. You got low vacancy rates, so townhouses are a very good option. And also, some apartments in better areas. If you can get the yield, like I was saying, if you can get 7%, 7% net. 10% net's a fantastic yield if it's in a decent area.
And I mean, how would let's say our international reach is so far that people in the UK are listening, probably our sisters and mum, but
I'm sure they've got better things.
They definitely do. I'm just trying to make us sound important, like anyone cares. In the UK, a really good return on investment in the south is 5%.
Yeah, returns are much higher in the UAE for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's 2.5% more. That's 50% more. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and we're talking about cash on cash returns as well. But your returns are even better if you're using a mortgage, generally speaking.
This is true.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's okay. Talk me through the house, your home, because you have recently undergone a very impressive and extensive renovation. I'm being so nice to you at the moment. This is sickening. You need to stop.
Yeah. Well, as I said at the top of the podcast, you can tell when the market's doing well, people start to renovate. When the market's going down, people don't see the value in renovating their houses and that kind of thing. So now in Abu Dhabi, it's been going on in Dubai for quite a while now. In Abu Dhabi, people are renovating more and more. And so we had a standard 3-bed in Al Reef, and we extended it into the garden and made an extra room. And now we're enclosing. There's a big balcony on the top floor, enclosing that and to make it into a playroom. We did a renovation. So it would have been just under 2,000. Hold on, let me get this right. No, just under 1,800 square feet before we started, and so now it's probably about 2,200, I guess.
Really, it feels much bigger. That ground floor is just stonking. It's massive.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the bedrooms are pretty decent upstairs. There's not a lot of wasted space. Those Al Reef townhouses, much maligned in the market, but they're extremely economically sized. Yeah, townhouse.
Townhouse.
It's a residence.
Essex. A townhouse, Benjamin.
Yeah.
A tiny house.
They're much maligned, but they don't waste any space at all. Like what breaks my heart when you see like long corridors or big empty foyers and stuff like that, where it's just wasted space. But those ones are tight and on the money.
I mean, that you call it like big corridors and partition rooms. That's very much the sort of the way of living around here, where you have families who are sort of more Arabic, more in the sort of, I call it the subcontinent. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that, but India, Pakistan, places like that, where
it is a subcontinent.
Okay, fine. Where people prefer more partitioned living spaces, because back in the day, his and hers majlises, closed kitchens, that kind of thing. So that's where that sort of the wasted space in the corridors and things like that come from. But now you see developers using space much more intelligent.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely true, and particularly when a European family goes into a house with a majlis, particularly like the majlis is at the top of the stairs. Often it's very unclear what to do with that that kind of space. Because we don't have that tradition of sitting around as a family and having coffee, and you've got the little mini kitchen up there as well. So we can feel it as wasted space, but actually for a different family it isn't.
So Ben, I'm an investor looking at buying in Abu Dhabi, which I think is undervalued, and I'm going to go up there and I'm going to say it, and I know I take the mickey out of Abu Dhabi versus Dubai, but I genuinely think Abu Dhabi is undervalued.
Yeah. For those of you out there who don't know, Abu Dhabi secondary market prices have been flat out through COVID, so we haven't seen the price appreciation that Dubai has had. You guys have had between 20 and 40%, price increases, more in some places. We've had some patchy appreciation, but actually, most of our house prices have been flat. So we've got hopefully a bit of headroom to grow in the future. However, if you are an investor don't rely on capital appreciation. Get your returns sorted.
Slow and steady, baby.
Yeah, get your returns sorted first. Don't buy for capital appreciation. It's a mugs game. Absolute mugs.
But I mean, with that said, there is much less chance of there being a correction if and when that time comes.
Yeah, like the market doesn't have much to fall. Let's say if there was a fall, and hopefully we've got a lot of headroom to grow into.
Are you finding that people are now, because I mean, Abu Dhabi is much more on the radar than it used to be with people in Dubai. Certainly, investors and people that I speak to. Even the high-end guys are like, well, can I go down and buy something on the beach down in Abu Dhabi? Very tricky to buy a nice big house on the beach.
It is. People think, well, we don't have as much beach as Dubai, just the way that Abu Dhabi is built in terms of it being an island kind of on the mangroves. But there aren't really houses on the beach. There are some in Saadiyat, but it's very, very limited.
Which is bonkers because you have a lot more beachfront than we do.
We do, and there's a lot of developments coming on the islands surrounding Abu Dhabi. Fahid Island, Hudayriyat, yeah. So there will be a lot more beachfront property, but right now it's very limited. But we're seeing Dubai Russians buying in Abu Dhabi, I think, more. Less, Dubai, other types of people, but the Russians definitely have an eye on, particularly Saudi.
And I'll tell you why that is. We find our friends from the East really appreciate nature a lot more. The Russians and the Ukrainians and Eastern Bloc people who have bought here all want nice big gardens. They want that greenery, they want that space, and that's probably why they're coming down to Abu Dhabi, because
Russia's a massive place, a lot of land.
Yeah. But that's probably why they're seeing value in Abu Dhabi, because it is much more open.
It is as a city, but you can't get the same plot sizes that you get in Dubai. Generally, our plot sizes are a bit smaller.
Which is weird because you're not short of land.
We got a lot of land.
You got a lot of land.
True, but just I think given the shape of Abu Dhabi, one of the reasons why we're not building along the coast is the shape. So maybe it'll happen that we're like Jubail Island, for example, being developed now. It's got much bigger plot sizes than has been the case in the past. So maybe that's something that we'll see.
It's been a point of complaint for some people that that the plots that are in the UAE are not as big as they could be or should be.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's a lot of space.
Again, it goes back to why I bought in JVT 9 years ago.
I remember helping you look for that villa, and you were choosing between one of the townhouses or one of the ones with the big plots, and the price difference wasn't massive.
No.
But you had to stretch your budget to get the one with the larger plots.
Yeah.
Which I think was a no-brainer.
We sold our house in London, right? We sold the house in Hackney. And we used the proceeds.
It was your wife's. Your wife's apartment, I think.
Well, no, I borrowed from the bank of mum and dad again, and then sold Sharon. We sold Sharon Gardens.
Trustafarian.
And then
Sharon Gardens wasn't till 2018.
But that's how we used to pay it back.
Oh, right, to pay it back. Yeah.
Right, that has been fun, and we have absolutely hit the nail on the head in terms of our timing here.
Wunderbar.
I have been Barney from Dubai.
I've been Ben from Abu Dhabi.
And we have been the two Husky Brokers.
See you next time.